Hey everyone, okay, so today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to keep your makeup in place when it's hot and humid. Now, when the heat kind of rises, makeup can tend to start to slide around on the face, not look quite so perfect as the day goes on, and of course it can also oxidize. And we're going to be dealing with that in this tutorial, so let's just make a start. So the first thing you're going to want to do is apply your skincare. Now, I've got a touch of absolutely nothing on my face. So for me, what I like to do in the day is just apply sunscreen. So I'm going to be using Supergoop, the Unseen. And you need to use a generous amount with your sunscreen. You can use any sunscreen you wish. All will work perfectly fine with this video and these techniques. So I'm going to apply this incredibly generously all over my face. And I will also apply it off camera to my neck, behind my neck and my ears. So apply it everywhere and make sure that it is absorbed into the skin before you move on to the next step. So this is where the genius comes in. So what we want to do after we've applied our skincare, our sunscreen, and anything else that we've applied to our skin, the next thing we want to do is set with powder. Now, I know you've heard me speak about this before, but it is so important. And this technique works incredibly well at keeping your skin looking beautiful and flawless all day long. Now, there's this brand that I have heard of for a long time now. So I decided to take the plunge and see what it's all about. And the brand is Perfect Diary. And I'd seen it around, but I really wanted to test it out. Now, they do an incredible setting spray, which you'll see, but they also do the most groundbreaking, incredible loose powder. Now, the loose powder is a translucent blurring loose powder, and it is incredible. And it's got this groundbreaking ingredient called Smart Lock Blue that keeps your makeup from oxidizing. This powder not only gives you this incredible finish, and it really does, and you'll see it in a second, but it does prevent oxidization. And for those of you, especially with oilier skin tones, where your foundation can oxidize and go a shade or two darker or take on a gray cast, this prevents that. It is quite incredible. So now that we've done skincare, what we're going to do is now apply the product. So we're going to take the Perfect Diary Translucent Blurring Loose Powder, and we're going to apply this over our skincare before we do any makeup. I'm going to apply the product to the skin, and I'm going to apply it quite heavily. Now, you can apply it however you wish. You can apply it as heavy as I am, or you can apply it more sheerly. It just depends on your skin type and the amount of oil that your skin produces, and also the amount that your skin tends to oxidize. So it's all dependent. But what you will notice with this product is not only, especially when you use it with the sponge in this kind of patting and pressing motion, but it has this ridiculous blurring effect on the skin where everything just looks so much better with it. Because my skin is oily, I'm going to be using slightly more powder, but the result will be the same, which will be this flawless, beautiful base. So when it's powdered, this is where we now move into the makeup section. So now we're going to do foundation. Now I'm going to take the Goss Cream Foundation in shade number 7 and my powder puff, and I'm going to pick up some product, and I'm now going to work this over the powder. And this is where the genius comes in, because we will be using the powder again shortly to create longevity and that blurring effect. But that layer of powder is going to do a couple of things. It's going to ensure that our skincare stays put, but it's also ensuring that our foundation stays exactly where we need it, which is on our face, and it's going to prevent any oxidization. And this will only be compounded when we apply our second layer. So apply your makeup all over your face, the coverage that you wish. You can use a cream, you can use a powder, you can use a liquid. It doesn't matter, it works exactly the same. Okay, so foundation on. The next thing I'm going to do is just add a bit of color to the skin first. And I'm using all cream products here, but again, you can use whatever you wish. I'm actually going to be using this lovely one by LYS, and it's a cream blusher. And I'm just going to kind of dab it onto the back of my hand. And I'm going to apply it to the high points of the face. And I like to use blusher as a way of adding color to the face. So I'm not going to use bronzer or anything like that. And then I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to blend this in. And this just gives this really beautiful kind of color to the skin. And it just gives life to the face, which I love. I love color in the skin, especially in summer, because it then looks like you've actually kind of gone outside and got some beautiful color and sun onto your skin. And it just livens up the face. I just think it gives you that kind of sun-kissed look. Okay, so now that we've got the base products on the skin, it's now time for our second layer of the translucent blurring loose powder by Perfect Diary. So I'm going to do the exact same thing again, which is I'm going to use a powder puff, the one that came with it, and set all of this. Now you can actually use a brush if you wish, and I'm kind of going to mention that slightly more towards the end. The brush will give a more natural look, but I want to ensure incredible longevity and of course that anti-oxidization, so I'm going to use the puff. So again, I'm just going to load it up and I'm just going to pat it and press it onto the skin. You're actually pushing it onto the skin. You're not moving it, you're pushing it onto the entire face. And this second layer, other than is going to give an incredible kind of finish to the skin in terms of the blurring properties of it, which it really does do, but this is going to stop anything from moving, from oxidizing, and from becoming generally irritating throughout the day. So you can now rest assured that your makeup, everything's going to stay in place. It really is, honestly. I waited a little while before trying this product, but I wish I tried it a lot sooner, because the finish of this is incredible and it takes a lot to blow me away, it really does, but this just is incredible. And there's no white cast, there's no flashback, and the fact that, and I've tested this really vigorously, and my skin oxidizes, and it oxidizes by 1 or 2 shades, so I can go a lot darker, and this just stopped that, so it's love for me. Now, with that done, what I want to do is now add a setting spray to this. And the setting spray does a couple of things. Yes, it's going to set the makeup, which is also actually does 3 things, because yes, it's going to set the makeup. It's also going to help with some of that oxidization, but it also gives a more natural finish to the skin, particularly when you're using a lot of powder. And even though this powder is incredibly finely milled, it is like air, adding that mist of setting spray is going to do that. Now, I mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to be using Perfect Diary, and all you need to do is give it a shake. And once you've done that, you just want to kind of spray it a few times across the face, and then just let it be. Just let it set for a few moments. And this takes away any excess powder residue you may have on the skin, but it also sets it and just gives you that little extra insurance throughout the day. And even though we used a lot of sunscreen, we then used the powder, a lot of powder, foundation, cream blusher, and more loose powder again, the blurring loose powder. We used more of that again. Then we used the setting spray. It looks and feels like there's nothing on my skin. And that is the genius, not only of this technique, but of this powder and this brand. So this isn't going to go anywhere, but let's just say you want to take it a step further. So let's say we want to add a bit more color, but also a touch more highlight to the face. So what I'm going to do is now go over again in these high points with this cream blusher, and you'll see this, and I'm going to blend it in again. Yep, I'm blending it in over what we've just done, And you'll notice it's not going to do anything. Powder, cream over powder is usually a no-no. And you'll see that this will work just perfectly. I'm now going to take just a touch of the foundation again, just to blur the edges. And I love a bit of color in the face. So now that we've done that and we've added back that kind of real summer deliciousness to the skin. So now I'm going to go back in with the translucent blurring loose powder. I'm just going to go over those areas where I applied the additional color. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bake in certain areas of the face, leave it on the skin for a few moments to give a highlighting effect to the skin and really a blurring effect to those areas. So same principle, but this time you're going to take more of the powder and you're going to place it more strategically in the areas where you want there to be more light. So for me, it's kind of these upper part of the cheekbone area. So sort of just underneath the eyes to the side. That's where I want there to be the excess powder. A little bit down the bridge of the nose. And an area that I think is oftentimes kind of missed is I just want to go just above the brow as well, because that's a really nice area to highlight. But you can also, if you want, you could go down the sides of the face. Your face is unique to you, so you know the areas that work best for you. And I'm just going to leave this here just to bake for a few moments. Okay, so now all you're going to do is take a nice brush. I'm using a nice big brush here, which is my brush, and it is a beautiful #1 brush. And I'm now going to very lightly dust off those excess areas. And it gives a very, very subtle matte highlight to the skin, which looks super attractive. Because there's no visible shine, you get to highlight certain areas of the face and they stand out slightly without being distracting or irritating, which some very shiny products can be. And to finish this off, again, a slight spritz of the setting spray down the center of the face and in a kind of crossing motion, and just let that be for a few moments. There you go. Now, this makeup isn't going to go anywhere. It's on for the whole day now. It's not going to shift, it's not going to slide, and it's not going to oxidize. Now, Perfect Diary, you can buy it from their website. They ship. It is incredible. It is, and not only is it just the prettiest thing, and I'm a massive fan of powders in general, and I know about loose powders. This is one of the best of the best. It is incredible. And I've got a lot of product on my face. So I've got the sunscreen, I've got the foundations, I've got the powder, I've got the cream blusher, I've got the setting spray, but it looks like nothing on my skin. And that is the beauty of these products. It is incredible. And I think with that double punch with the translucent blurring loose powder and then the setting spray, it gives this natural effect that just isn't going anywhere. The fact that it's pretty incredible when you think about it, that there is a product out there that prevents oxidization, that has ingredient in it that actually prevents it. It is pretty incredible. That's how to stay gorgeous, flawless, and stunning in summer. Thanks for watching. All the information on the products used and everything else is in the description bar. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.